All right, we are super excited to share with you our pageant, and I want to remind you that it's a little bit different than a typical Christmas pageant with Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus. We are so blessed to have Becky Teed write our pageant for us. Thank you, Becky. She put in lots of hard work for this, and it's very moving, and it's very sweet, and it's awesome. Just a reminder, we will be singing Silent Night at the end of the pageant, so make sure you have a candle. If you don't, you can raise your hand right now, and one of our ushers can make sure you have a candle. We all will sing the first verse together, and the kids will be up here for the first verse, and then they'll come to sit with you for the second and third verse. And then make sure confirmands and children see me and Becky in the back in the narthex at the end of the service. And Becky made a special handmade ornament for you as well for all of your hard work. So make sure you see us at the end. Okay? Oh, also make sure you can see. So if you want to move up, now's your chance to move up so that you can see all of the action. All right. Who needs candles? Who needs candles? Keep your hand raised. Diana's coming.
My wife and I lived in a house far out in the country. The day before Christmas, about 20 years ago, before cell phones were so common, there was a blizzard going on outside. The power ran out, so we were going around lighting candles.
Oh my, this blizzard has been going on all day. Sometimes I wish we didn't live 20 miles from the city with no other houses nearby.
At least we've finished our Christmas shopping and decorating, so we can spend a quiet holiday at home all cozy and warm.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a special weather bulletin. Conditions have worsened throughout the area. Ice and 35-mile-an-hour winds have brought down trees and power lines. Most major highways have been closed by the state police. Anyone still on the roads are urged to seek shelter immediately from these life-threatening conditions. WCHI Weather will keep you informed of conditions as this blizzard makes its way throughout our state. We return you now to our holiday programming.
I knew we shouldn't have tried to drive to the city with blizzard warnings out, but no, you had to take advantage of the last-minute bargains. Now look, the car's in the ditch and we're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I wasn't the one driving when we went in the ditch. I hope someone's at home here because there isn't another house in sight.
I knew we shouldn't have tried to drive to the city with blizzard warnings out, but no, you had to take advantage of the last-minute bargains. Now look, the car is in the ditch and we're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I wasn't the one driving when we went in the ditch. I hope someone's at home here because there isn't another house in sight.
Daddy, I'm cold.
Goodness, you folks look like you're freezing. Come on in. We have a fire in the living room and should be able to rustle up some hot cocoa. What happened? Our car slid off the road. It's snowing so hard you can barely see. I'm afraid that we're stranded.
By the way, we're the shepherds, James and Rachel, and these are our children.
Well, no problem. We have plenty of room. You can wait out the storm here and call a tow truck as soon as the phone lines are up again.
Mommy, I'm hungry.
How about a nice homemade Christmas cookie?
Oh, all right, if that's what you got.
We were glad to have company for the holidays, but we wish they had a little more of the holiday spirit.
It wasn't much longer before another family came to the door.
Of course, we invited them in to wait out the storm in our home, too.
During the evening, several families knocked on our door, seeking shelter because their cars had gone off the road or the road was blocked by downed trees.
Some of the travelers were on their way from the city where they had taken advantage of the last-minute sales. Some were on their way to holiday parties, some to visit older relatives.
We welcomed each group and gave them a room for the night where they could put their belongings. Everyone settled in the living room around the fire for warmth, but there didn't seem to be many warm feelings in the room.
There was a bit of grumbling. Someone who came later got a bigger room, or bigger welcome, or was treated better.
There were also complaints about missing big sales or the movies. Kids started squabbling over toys, space, cookies, what have you.
Our quiet, cozy home was looking more and more like a busy hotel lobby, complete with demanding guests and unruly children.
When the storm was at its worst, we heard another knock on the door. A young couple stood there. The wife was obviously very pregnant. They were very apologetic and explained that they were on their way to the city to spend the holidays with relatives when their car slid off the road. They asked only for a place to warm up and dry off after trudging through the deep snow.
We introduced them to all the other travelers and offered the use of the attic room. Since all the other rooms had been taken and none of the other travelers seemed about to offer the couple more comfortable accommodations.
Since their clothes were soaked, we loaned them some warm bathrobes to wear while their things dried. Well, we took the couple up to the attic room. The other guests speculated on when the baby would be born, what the financial status of the young couple was, and how disrupting it would be if the wife went into labor.
Just then my wife rushed across the room, empty-handed. And then back the other way with clean towels and a dishpan, pausing to grab the tea kettle that had been simmering on the fireplace hearth. Once she disappeared, the group started grumbling again about the noise and inconvenience.
Then we all wandered off to our rooms, hoping to get some sleep before the quiet of the country would be disrupted by the cries of a newborn.
After a while, my wife went downstairs with Maria, who was cradling a baby in her arms. They sat by the fireplace. Maria was humming a lullaby.
Soon I was joined by my husband and the baby's father, Joe. We sat quietly, admiring the beautiful child.
One after another, the other guests tiptoed down to get a glass of water, a cookie, another blanket, but forgot their errand as they paused to smile at the baby.
Gradually, the room got more and more crowded, but not noisier. Once in a while, someone slipped out and brought back something for the baby. A shawl to use as a blanket, a toy, a present they had purchased for someone else's baby, a pretty pink scarf for the mother.
Soon we had that quiet, cozy Christmas we had pictured. In a way, it reminded me of what it might have looked like on the first Christmas, with all the travelers at the inn admiring the baby Jesus. Somehow the birth of that baby changed our weary guests from squabbling, complaining strangers to caring friends.
When the road was cleared, no one really wanted to leave, so they stayed and spent Christmas Day together, giving each other the gifts they had piled in their cars, and sharing the task of fixing a meal. Even the children became more thoughtful and worked together to shovel the snow and build the biggest snowman I've ever seen.
My wife and I became the godparents of Joe and Maria's baby. Every year, the whole group exchanges Christmas cards or phone calls, always commenting on how that Christmas changed their lives, how that tiny child awakened a spirit of peace and compassion within them. Just like a tiny child in Bethlehem changed and changes so many lives by bringing peace and compassion into hearts.